Ladies and gentlemen, we are now gathered to induct our newest members of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, or shall I say, our first two-time member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, along with inducting officially our first faction into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. Hopefully, we get maybe a father's like hand for our newest inductees or our first faction formally into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. Because, ladies and gentlemen, their wrath has been unmeasurable over the past 18 or so months. Before I could, though, let's have a slip or a zip, we might want to say, from a maybe flask, you might want to say. Maybe we want to have a zip of something we used to see from yesteryear, from one of the most dominant groups in the history of Sportswire Radio's coverage of all things wrestling that certainly matters. Maybe we can feel that power course through our veins. Show us the way by hopefully inducting our first ever faction into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. But I'd like to say, though, it was inevitable that our newest members and first group into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, we would know that the darkness of our Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame was inevitable to basically shy away from. And we have to see them here live. Because when I think about, though, the term all wrestling matters, and I think about our first group to be inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, I really think in many ways it's about up and coming is the term. Because when I think about specifically three members of the group, the House of Wolves, which are to be our first group ever to be inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, in many ways, the term meteoric rise comes to mind. First, what I'm looking at, Freddie Daniels. And I think about Freddie Daniels. And from the first time I got introduced to him, the first time he came onto Sportswire Radio to where he is now, he has quickly become one of the up and coming stars in the underground, the semi pro, the yard, the independent. I don't even know what the term is at this point. But with him with the RCW World Underground Championship, a championship held by a who's who of stars, most notably the likes of the resident rock star Sean Jovi. After all, it should be Freddie's vlog soon once again. So maybe we can make that Freddie's vlog once again, because it's certainly, he's got something going on. The likes of Nicholas Crenson, and most notably Darkfire, who Freddie Daniels took that RCW World Underground Championship from. A meteoric rise for an up-and-coming star fits him to a T. While he's not here with us at the moment, another up-and-coming star from the House of Wolves to me has been a huge part of that meteoric rise in Jordan Nets, who Jordan Nets to some may have shocked the world earlier this summer when he won the IMF World Championship. But when I think back just about a year ago at this time, when he was really put on the stage, on maybe the biggest stage or the biggest yard to date, when he squared off with a man that is considered to be pound for pound one of the best backyard or any type of wrestlers in our sport. And he, after all, does have maybe the best Claymore aside from Drew McIntyre, the real deal Anthony Steele. When he certainly gave Anthony Steele a certainly run for his money, it made him earn every dollar from being the real deal. Maybe that was the first time we got a sense of who Jordan Nets would be. And most notably, even seeing him on one of the companies that we call here on Sportswire Radio to be the gold standard of XCW on the encounter shows and being extremely successful, even against the likes of a man who is certainly one of the more popular stars in the world of YouTube and from XCW and Haunted Minds Paranormal himself, Mr. DJ Wolbert. Jordan Nets has established himself as an up-and-coming star to keep an eye on. And of course, we can never forget, actually the man that is our first ever two-time Hall of Famer on Sportswire Radio history, and also to boot on his birthday. It is his show after all. So if I don't give him that recognition, if I don't talk about the fact that when I first got introduced to him, a little over, I would say 15 months ago, when an unnamed person who runs a company with three initials had famously said, you know, Tom, I would like you to pay attention to a company called the IMF, and specifically our first ever two-time Hall of Famer. And a man, after all, that's taken over Sportswire Radio. And despite when I wanted to pull my own sting yesterday and retire, he and many others would not let me. But Omen Black was the person that I was told to keep an eye on. And when I saw him famously on the Nemesis sessions, go back and forth with James Taylor, of course, and everybody knows James Taylor, kind of like everybody knows Raymond, to seeing him here on Sportswire Radio for the first time, right around a year ago, at this time, and call out a man that is supposedly the backyard nightmare and the ruler of the yard, Craven Rage. And to this day, ladies and gentlemen, Craven Rage has still never been in a ring with Omen Black and has still never faced him. We've seen Omen Black grow. We've seen him become the IMF World Champion. We've seen him be a tag team champion. We've seen him even be the company's first hardcore champion, but also go after a slew of stars throughout many different federations that we cover on Sportswire Radio. ROEW, Jason Storm, their former champion, the wild card. I'm sure he remembers those encounters, quote unquote. We'll get to that company shortly. Jackson Law or Captain Law, who knows what Law you want to call him. Just call him Law. He felt that wrath of Omen Black. Certainly XCW. Justin Parsley, the first real wrestler, also in our Hall of Fame. The essential Rob Slater. They felt the boogeyman of the Midwest. And we can never forget, certainly a man I just also mentioned a few short minutes ago, going into our Hall of Fame in 20 days from now. The real deal, Anthony Steele, a man who has been in some of the biggest federations throughout the yard and the underground. He fell victim to Omen Black, which cemented Omen Black to be the boogeyman of the Midwest. And to many believe he is the hardcore god. Unlike one of our other favorites on Sportswire Radio, to be inducted into our Hall of Fame next Thursday, Atomic Titan, otherwise known as our hardcore king, Hollywood Titan, as even some would also say, and the only Tennessee Backyard Wrestling Grand Slam winner in history. Omen Black has certainly cemented his case against those names, but also has certainly held his own and deserves to be mentioned with the likes of Damian Saint. And something tells me that Omen Black is far from through with Damian Saint. But also some other favorites on Sportswire Radio over the past several months, like Hardcore, Mikey Anarchy, who only holds 4 championships currently at the moment. He's the GTS Intercontinental Champion, the Pro Wrestling Venom World Champion, the UWF Champion, and he could even be holding more gold coming up very soon in the month of June with the TF Crew YouTube Championship, also with the US Championship in the UWF. And of course, a man that I'm proud to say is a good friend of mine and a man that everybody knows, that I certainly hope and know that one day, whenever the boogeyman of the Midwest will recover from his injury, and that is none other than the one and only Jimmy freaking Controversy. Yes, Omen Black has had a meteoric rise and has become an up-and-coming star, and he has done a lot. But the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, like any good faction, Omen Black wouldn't be our first 2-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer if it wasn't for the many members of the House of Wolves, and most notably, 2 of our favorites to date in Freddie Daniels and Jordan Netz. Ladies and gentlemen, I can go on and on and on. Well, although it is, after all, Omen Black's show, so maybe he does want me to go on and on and on about Omen Black and certainly him being the first 2-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer. But I might actually want to wish him a happy birthday. I might also want to have a few surprises for him and award him something. But the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, before I give him that introduction, it is his show after all, and certainly celebrate his legacy and proudly making him the first 2-time Hall of Famer in our history, he beats Justin Parsley by about a month on that. So even though Justin Parsley might have beat him this past Thursday, but Omen Black does score one for the boogeyman of the Midwest and the hardcore god. But the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, I've gotten a chance to know this man over the past year. I'm proud to call him a friend, and I couldn't think of a better person to be our first two-time Hall of Fame inductee and also a part of the first group to be officially inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame than none other than Omen Black and the House of Wolves. Now, Omen, this actually has to be one of my longest Hall of Fame speeches as your master of ceremonies to date, which I wanted to do it a little special for you. I even got home earlier tonight. We was actually speaking before we came on the air, and I really wanted to make this a special moment. So I think I've done enough. But before I do that, Omen, I do want to officially congratulate you as our first two-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer. I also want to officially congratulate you as being a part of the first group formally to be inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame and become kind of our own Ric Flair. Of course, as Ric Flair was inducted into the Hall of Fame as the Four Horsemen and also himself, he was the first person to do that. But before I officially congratulate you, it is time to give you that introduction that you've gotten and so many other of the Hall of Famers have gotten over and over and over again. And I'm going to bring him right back on the stage because it looks like his camera is working once again. And I'm going to also officially congratulate Freddie Daniels, our RCW World Underground Champion, and also our briefcase holder in the IMF, to officially give them that congratulations and extend them into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame as the House of Wolves, and Omen Black being our first two-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer. But as I've said enough. It's time to get to it and give you guys that introduction that you guys have been waiting for. I can't wait to give it to you. You guys deserve it. So let's get right to it. So with wait for it. Further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one global sports show. The first group to be officially inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, and our first ever two-time inductee into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. First, we have the House of Wolves, and of course, the hardcore god, the boogeyman of the Midwest, the seventh member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, the first member officially, by literally a few seconds over, Soldier GB, from the IMF to be inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. It is his show, and on his birthday, nonetheless, two-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer. His name is Omen Black. Fellas, congratulations.
Tom, always a pleasure. I don't know how you do not blow a vein out, or man, you really get up there and hold it.
You know, it's funny. Actually, somebody asked me that the other day. You ever worry about your voice going out on the air? Now, I'll tell you, we're actually breaking the fourth wall for a second. I did a show about maybe a month and a half ago with Taylor Trutz, who's the general manager of Coming Out Championship Wrestling. And I did that high note, and I clutched my chest, and I'm like, uh-oh. And I wound up getting through the interview, but that was the only time I have actually had a problem with that. But I think it's repetition at this point. It's also just, obviously good genes. My mother sings, and I think it's just kind of those things that kind of help me be able to hang in there, but just practice. But is your show, Omen, after all. So I'd rather maybe blow out a vein when Craven Rage comes back on the Sports Wire, or maybe when somebody else does. But it is a special day. And I couldn't think of a better person to be our first two-time Hall of Famer into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. But also, I couldn't think of a better person to be with us than the reigning defending RCW World Underground Champion, Freddie Daniels. After all, it should be Freddie's vlog, and hopefully Freddie's got it more going on than Jovi. I'm going to ask Mr. Jovi about that next Friday. But fellas, congratulations at Omen. We will certainly have some presents for you throughout the telecast. But I want to ask you guys, before I get to some comments, in terms of what does it mean to you guys now to be a part of the first group officially inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame in the House of Wolves?
Well, Tom, it's a great pleasure. And you got it right. It is my show. Sorry.
That's okay, because I guess now I won't be retiring on Sportswire after all, because after that voice, I don't think I'm going anywhere.
I mean, that was pretty scary. Like, I thought Mr. Judgment was going to come out of the wall when I even said that like that. Sorry.
Well, don't give him any ideas, because he's really into Sportswire right now. He is like, we had a great conversation, and he wants to come on a lot more than he usually does. So don't give him ideas.
That's great. Big fan.
Good
friend. Good guy, actually.
A great guy, by the way, but not
he's
CJ Black. He's a good guy. CJ's the good guy. That's all.
He's a piece of shit. But,
no comment.
No, I like CJ. But it's a great pleasure to be the first two-time Hall of Famer. Fuck you, Parsley. But I don't want to make this about me, because the House of Wolves wouldn't be as danger of a squad as it was if it was just me. No, because of Felix, or not Felix. God, I don't know why I said Felix. Freddie. They both start with an S.
No, listen, you make me feel better now, because months ago, I think I called Freddie Felix. And so, listen, actually, I'm going to actually save you, Omen. It is your birthday after all. It makes me feel so much better, because months ago, I originally, when Freddie came on the first time, called him Felix. And Soldier was like, Felix is actually, you got them mixed up. And I'm like, okay, well, thank you for reminding me.
I knew that. I did a callback. I'm glad you got it. But,
you're welcome.
House of Wolves was such a dangerous of a squad, because it was the Freddie Daniels, the Jordanettes, Uric, even Jimmy Payton, and unfortunately Remington Stryker.
I wasn't going to mention him.
But in the short amount of time that we were together as a group, we demolished everyone. Look back at the hands of time. World champion Freddie Daniels and Jordanettes were the only tag teams to unify their tag titles. Freddie Daniels alone was the longest reigning tag team champion, because he won it with Cisco Skeet, who was also a member of the House of Wolves, but he left. So then he had to defend it alone and with Jordanettes. Then you look at
let's not bring up Skeet. How about that, Omen?
Listen, I will bring him on my show.
Oh my god! Oh my god! You know what, Omen? I think that you could really take over sports. Maybe you should take over.
But it wasn't just if I didn't have these guys, I wouldn't have been world champion, and that's a real man to admit that. If I didn't have had these guys, I wouldn't be world champion. I wouldn't have been United States champion again. I wouldn't have been having some of the greatest feuds I had with Soldier GP, Stryker, Prince of Chia. Without these guys, the House of Wolves wouldn't have been as powerful as they were. So I want to really thank Freddie Daniels and Jordanettes and Uric and Jimmy Payton, really, for what they put into the House of Wolves.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you brought that up, because also as I segue to Freddie, and I really feel that the group has a lot of up and coming talent. Obviously, currently Uric, the Viking, you guys are actually battling in the foundation. But in terms of what you guys, in terms of what you guys have done, I think there's no question that you've all had a meteoric rise, and especially you, Freddie, because as I said in my speech to induct the House of Wolves, it's kind of, you have become one of the more up and coming talents. I really think that you've improved so much in the ring. You've improved so much in terms of your speaking abilities and how you come across. Yes, we absolutely see it. In the last 5 or 6 months, you've definitely become somebody that I could see in 5-6 months from now going on and being a world champion somewhere else, and that shows to the credit, and that's why you're here, Freddie. And talk to me, on some of those things, and what else you'd like to say, champ.
Tom, I really do thank you for having me on here and inducting me into your Hall of Fame. And Omen, I really appreciate you sitting there and thanking me for my time in the House of Wolves. I respect you too. And, honestly, I wanted to come on here tonight. And, you said that you wanted to make it about us. But as Tom Bryce said, you are the birthday boy. And, I did forget something tonight, but I'm still going to say it. Next time I see you, big man, I got a gift for you for your birthday. You sat there and you helped me with the House of Wolves, and I'm hoping that this helps you as well. Next time I see you, I'm going to give you the mask that you gave me at the start of the House of Wolves as a sign of respect and as a gift for you for your birthday and all that. And I really hope that you can, somehow use it to help get back the IMF hardcore title from Damian Saint.
Omen, I actually have something, first of all, I would like to present to you as kind of something I created for your birthday. So I'm actually going to pull it up on the screen. I have a couple of things for you guys I'm going to bring up on the screen in a few minutes. But before I do that, I created something for you before we went on the air. So I'd like to put it on the screen for those that are listening and watching. Unless, Omen, you don't want me to. I mean, if you don't want me to, I could always not, play it on the
I'm
screen.
never going to tell you no.
Oh,
Okay, fair enough.
come on,
Okay,
Tom.
I'll do it. All right, so I'm going to play it on the screen. First of all, I wanted to actually, which I put this here. Happy birthday, Omen Black. We created something here on Sportswire Radio. We'll give it to you when we're off the air. Wanted to create it with your logo, obviously a little font from my creation, and some different things. We have some other things we're going to present on the screen, but wanted
It's
to
beautiful.
kind of for the audience, happy birthday, Omen Black, and hope it's the best birthday yet. And as I always say, the best is yet to come. So, thank you for all that you do in all seriousness, and thank you for all what you do, Freddie, in this sport here, and all wrestling matters. And you guys have really come a long way, even both of you, and Jordan as well. I want to give a big shout out to Jordan because I think the three of you, in a way, have all collectively come so far. Because when I think about first hearing about you guys in the IMF, it goes back to a promoter with three initials about 15 months ago now. And she said, Tom, there's your clue. Tom, I heard of a company and I think you should pay attention to them. You should start covering them and maybe we can work together with them. And that company was you guys.
Talking about.
I pretty much broke the fourth wall there. But the facts are is that it doesn't matter who it might be or when it was. The fact is, from that moment to where you guys are, you're in 400-seat venues now. You're wrestling pro wrestling stars. You guys have traveled all over the place. And I think it speaks to the volumes of the character, the determination, and the drive. And that's why, we're proud to have you guys, both of you, as a matter of fact, in the Hall of Fame. I was watching Jovi's vlog, the vlog right around the King of the Center show, where it basically showed you guys, and, seeing what you do in terms of the preparation for your shows. You get there hours beforehand to set the ring up and everybody's, trying to talk about their situations and set the right things up and, work together and drive hours upon hours to places like XCW, ROEW, WCE. And I think that, it shows in how far you guys have come, and hard work pays off, dreams come true, and that was the famous quote from Bret the Hitman Hart when he won the WWF Championship the first time in 1992. And I think that that's what's really about both of you guys. Freddie's holding gold. Omen, obviously, we wish that you recover from your injury still, but the facts are is that Omen, you have been a guy that you've become a main eventer in a short amount of time. You've become one of the premiered and feared big men. Certainly ask Justin Barsley, ask Jackson Law, ask Jacob Collins, ask certainly Jason Storm. We can go up and down the list. Nicholas Crenson, Kodak Kid. I mean, obviously Prince of Chia. We can certainly goes down Soldier. You and him have gone up and down, battled each other, Rob Slater. But the facts are is that both of you guys are here. And the both of you guys are Hall of Famers because of the determination, the heart, and the drive that you had to be better. And that's why you have been a part of All Wrestling Matters. And I can't think of two better people that I would want to be with tonight.
I could say, yeah, I'm a main eventer because I've put in a lot of the hard work and I'm most feared big guy. But I think a lot of that could be thanks to the House of Wolves and especially the Foundation, which I still rep that. But House of Wolves, you know, I want to bring up a fact that Anthony Steele said last week. The House of Wolves was top 2 of the backyard factions.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Me personally, I think a lot of people can agree the House of Wolves is right under the Foundation.
Yeah, but you could also say that there would be no Foundation if it wasn't for the House of Wolves. You guys were the early laid the seeds for it. I mean, think about what we see with the Foundation. You guys have taken all over different places throughout the Midwest and even into other parts of the country. And I think that shows that it was the House of Wolves in a lot of ways was revolutionary in terms of, laying quote unquote the foundation to where we are now.
Listen, the Foundation was around before the House of Wolves, but that first Foundation got split apart. We didn't even really bring back the Foundation until after or right towards the end of the demise of the House of Wolves. But if it wasn't for the early days of Foundation, I wouldn't have known how to run a group like the House of Wolves. Seeing we were the most dominant group in IMF. We had all the gold. No one could touch us. I think it's because we all help each other's strengths, but we all protect each other.
Hey, you turned Soldier's own kids against him. I mean, you was just really that's how intense and dominant you guys were. I mean, Prince Achia couldn't solve you guys. I mean, really, there was nobody that could touch you guys throughout a large part of late 2022 into a good chunk of 2023.
Exactly. You know what? As much as he was my biggest supporter, he was also my biggest hater. And he'll still even tell you that. Anthony Steele, he would talk down the House Wolves any chance he had. But yet, I'll give him this. He did beat Jordan Edson on 1-on-1, but I beat him also in a 1-on-1. Some say Soldier helped me, but I don't see it that way. But I want to say this. The work that Uric, Freddie Daniels, and Jordan Nets outshines any work that I've done in the House of Wolves. I truly mean that because these guys were literally putting it all out there just to protect what the House of Wolves represented. And without that, it wouldn't have been as feared or as strong as it was portrayed to be.
And I could even say, listen, Jordan Nets, without what Jordan Nets did in proving he could hang with Anthony Steele, that would not have maybe in terms of that could have made or break the IMF as a whole. I mean, it's certainly, no undertaking. It's no easy feat to go up there and have a really credible match with Anthony Steele. All these guys come on here. Yeah, I want Anthony Steele. Yeah, I want Anthony Steele. Yeah, I want to go against him. But Jordan Nets, listen, he went up there and he held his own against Anthony Steele. Anthony Steele talks about that match. And you know what? In a lot of ways, you can look back to that match last year. And in many ways, that proved that Jordan Nets and the rest of you guys could go to WCE and go to ROEW and even XCW, where you and obviously Jordan have become a staple. And so it shows you at the end of the day what you all have done. All of you have done. Not just one person, not just two people. All of you. That's why all of the House of Wolves matter. That's why, all of the big names, obviously you, Uric,
even the ones we're that aren't here with us, I'll even say it in the House of Wolves, the Dark Father was the almighty that we were trying to follow. It was the cult, basically.
Yep, I remember. I was actually watching some of it before we went on the air. Actually, in the old stuff.
Yeah, and
which I did bring in my speech, by the way. Got to give you that. I did quote some of it, but you didn't. Bet you didn't think that was going to happen again.
The creativity that we had in the House of Wolves outshined what we could actually pull off as production. Like the Dark Father, the 9-year-old kid. I'll just say that he was a 9-year-old kid the Dark Father possessed. But you know what? Storylines are different in wrestling. I tell you that.
Absolutely, 1,000%.
But you know what? During my birthday dinner tonight, he was there and he's like, even his dad was like, hey, he needs to get a award printed off. I'm like, I'll make it happen. Tom said he's gonna just print it off for the House of Wolves. I'll make it happen.
We actually did speak about that. I asked you, well, who do you want me to make it out to? You're like, just do House of Wolves, and we're actually gonna pull that up in a few short minutes. Absolutely. No, listen, that's what we have the power to do that on Sportswire.
Just seeing the light in his eyes like glow after saying, "Oh, I'm gonna get an award for just a quick cameo as the Dark Father," like a couple episodes, lit his day up, and that's what the House of Wolves is about, I guess.
And I think before I get to Freddie, and I have a ton of comments, I'm going to get to you shortly. That's what it's all about, and that's why I believe that the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame for our sport, as I continue to say, baseball has it in Cooperstown, New York, football has it in Canton, Ohio. Basketball has it in Springfield, Massachusetts. Certainly, hockey has it in Toronto, Ontario. But I want, for all wrestling that matters, to have it here on Sportswire Radio. And that's why I wanted all of you guys to be a part of things. But, Freddie, I mean, obviously, you have also had a meteoric rise. And I wanted to ask you, what does it mean to you now that also, in addition to being in our Hall of Fame with the House of Wolves and being the RCW World Underground Champion? That's a huge accomplishment because Jovi's held that title. Craven Rage has held that title. Crenton has held that title. Darkfire, the man you defeated. Darkfire, a lot of people have a lot of high hopes for this year and elsewhere in the scene. But talk to me about being the RCW World Underground Champion. What does that mean to you?
Well, Tom, first off, I want to say this title and me, we're the same age. It's only, 3 months and 5 days older than me. So, yeah. So this title, it definitely means a lot to me, especially since Jovi gave me the shot at it. I am dedicating me calling it the BBC to him and his BBC run. But I think my main quote for this title is, "I'm Freddie Daniels, the RCW World Underground Champion, and it will be known." I'm trying to, get some prestige back to this, since the man who held it before it, Darkfire, the man that never dies, well, he did good, but I can do better.
Well, I think that there's no question you have a lot of potential, and I think that it's only going to be seen that potential is going to be certainly come to fruition very soon in the near and distant future. I have a lot of people that want to talk to you guys, so let me get to them before I say some things. Want to say hello to my good buddy, Mr. Ethan Sorensen. How you doing? Doing great out there. And by the way, happy birthday to Omen Black once again. I'm going to make sure that we pull it up. It is his birthday, so make sure everybody join me in wishing Omen Black a happy birthday. It is his show after all, so if you don't wish him a happy birthday, he will come after you. He is the boogeyman of the Midwest after all. We know what a boogeyman can do, because I remember as a kid believing in the boogeyman. So, growing up in Brooklyn, it was always like, there is a boogeyman. There is such a thing, which was actually kind of...
right, there is.
It was actually, I think, when I was a kid, it was like the boiler room where it was like where the heating was or something like that. I remember having that was what it was. But that's a different time and a different era. Certainly now we want to wish Omen a very happy birthday, and want to say hello to, of course, Mr. Dirty. Dirty is going to join our Hall of Fame very shortly in the next few weeks on Sportswire Radio, and definitely 2-time 4 up, 4 down. We're working our way through the foundation, and Dirty's going to be joining. And I would like to see Levi McDaniel get inducted as well coming up in the near and distant future. Hopefully, Mr. McDaniel would like to be in the Hall of Fame, because we'd be very honored to have him a part of the Hall of Fame. So thank you, Dirty, for all you do in this great sport. A man that you've certainly rode up and down the Midwest and elsewhere. You've had some famous wars, especially those House of Wolves days. You had wars with him, and we've seen you guys together of late, Mr. Soldier GP, the IMF World Champion. Congratulations.
We're family. We're brothers.
Oh, good job, Freddie, as well. But let's not forget becoming a 2-time Hall of Famer on your birthday. Blow them candles, brother. Good enough. Thank you, Dirty. Appreciate it. I still wanted to read it off. Congratulations, Omen Black, on being the 2-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer, and Freddie Daniels on being inducted to the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And happy birthday, Omen Black. Absolutely.
Thank you.
10 seconds after the intro, Tom says cutting the fourth wall for a second. Love it, man. This is the place to be for us. I appreciate that very much.
Goddamn right it is.
I am getting a lot of people that tell me different, maybe I'll tell you often. You'll never guess who actually told me that they're a big fan of Sportzwire. I can't tell it to you on the air, but maybe I'll tell it to you off the air. So I get a lot of
big name.
pretty big name. Yeah, pretty big name. Let me just say
It's
that.
The Rock. It's The Rock.
I'm going to plead the fifth on that. But until then, I want to say thank you guys for being a part of the conversation. And also, follow the IMF, please, on all these great platforms. Facebook, Iowa Midwest Federation Wrestling. Instagram, IMF_wrestling. YouTube, IMF Wrestling 666. And also want to point out, we have a show coming up here next Saturday. And on Sportswire Radio next Friday, as we always do before the show, we're going to have a slew of IMF stars. And these two gentlemen, I'm sure, will be here in some capacity, even though Omen is still suffering from his injuries. We hope to at least see him on the telecast. And also, I want to point out that yours truly has already once again bought his ticket for next weekend show. So if somebody would like to go and they don't have the money to go, I have, as I always continue to do, make it about all wrestling matters. If there's somebody out there you'd like to go, you can go on my behalf. And if there's somebody else out there in the Iowa area that would like to go, and they would be able to, if they can't, and I will make sure personally that they can have a ticket. So if there's anybody out there that would like to go to the show next Saturday, I will make it my duty for you. Yes, I can do that. I will give you the $10. Yes, if you would like a ticket, Omen, I know you're not going to be on the card because you're injured. I will give you $10. I will make sure you get the $10. I will send it to the owner of the IMF. You probably know who that is. And make sure that you go and maybe somebody else. So that's what I like to do about
Freddie Daniels.
Well, Freddie might be in action, but I want to say hello to this person. Congratulations.
Of course, I better be in action.
Well, good. I'm making sure. Two-time Hall of Famer, Omen Black, and Mr. Briefcase, Freddie Daniels. I agree. Well, I don't know if I should answer this question.
You got him right. He is.
Okay, good. Want to make sure.
All households.
Jimmy.
Yes, and the Doc Father. I have a question for Omen Black and Freddie Daniels. As a faction, what would be your favorite tag team match that you guys had in your career so far? That's a good question. All right.
Unfortunately, I can't answer the question because I didn't do a lot of tag team matches in the House of Wolves.
Right.
But I could say what my favorite one watching was.
Okay.
Watching Freddie and Jordan beat, I guess, them boys to get the titles, like, again. So, or you know what? Sorry, Freddie. My favorite match is when you lost into Soldier and Dirty. I mean, it was in a steel cage. I know it was really good. It was a really good match. Like, I couldn't hate on it.
Yeah, they did a good job at being in our asses that day. I would definitely have to say my favorite tag match was probably, you know what? To sit there and unite the tag titles. I do believe that would be. No, wait. No, I just did that to do that. That wasn't even a match. My favorite tag match would definitely have to be the last one with Soldier and Jordan. And I do have to say at Remington, even though he sat there and he was what cost us the tag title. That was definitely my most favorite match, even though it was the one where I lost my tag titles.
Freddie, I'd like to ask you a question, and I'll say hello to Skulls. And, of course, Skulls was inducted into our Hall of Fame last night. But I wanted to ask you something, Freddie, that I was curious because I know we've had you on a couple times, but really haven't had long conversations. And is there anybody that you would like to wrestle as a dream opponent? Now that you're a Hall of Famer, you're the RCW World Underground Champion, you're the briefcase holder. You know, is there anybody that comes to mind that you'd like to wrestle?
Well, as Freddie Daniels, I think the next person that I would want to fight is, whoever comes after the title. But, out of character, the next person that I definitely would love to wrestle would be Jovi. He gave me a shot for the title. He's helped me a lot with the vlog and, stuff like that. And he's been a big part in my recent upcoming. So I definitely think I would sit there and be honored to have a match with Jovi.
Can you handle the cannonball?
I I do believe I took it in the ladder match where I won this.
Yep.
So I do believe I can. Plus, he also put me through a table right there at the end of the match. So I'm sure
Freddie
I'll do
got
fine.
obliterated during that match.
So would
Oh.
Freddie, would it be okay, as I'm sure the resident rock star will be back here next Friday? I would be shocked otherwise if he wasn't, but if he's here next Friday night, could I ask him about some of your comments maybe?
Yeah, sure, Tom. Hell, I might even be in the comments sitting there talking to you guys while you're
I'm
asking him. Who
expecting you to
knows?
be on the show Friday night next week, Freddie. Come on, Freddie. What's the matter with you? I
Yeah.
expect you to be-
Well, who knows?
I
Who knows?
gotta,
You never know.
you know, I gotta put on my New York accent. You know, I hear you do it. I hear Nikki the Cooch do it in VTW.
Yeah, you know,
I'm the guy
sometimes I
that's
slip
in
in
the
and
wheel.
out.
What's the
Who
matter with
knows?
you,
You
Freddie?
never
Come
know when you.
on, Freddie. Come on, forget about it, Freddie. All right, you're talking to the guy that actually's got the
Yeah.
accent.
You're gonna go on my show Friday with Jovi.
We're gonna see. I have a feeling
Oh,
Freddie's
man,
gonna have it.
listen, if we have a
Hey,
problem, we can solve it.
And you know, Freddie, how about the fact that you and Jovi now are both Hall of Famers?
Yeah, me and Jovi are both Hall of Famers. We're both vloggers. We both hold BBCs, even though his is just a crown.
All
So,
right.
you know, I one Hall of Famer to another, I congratulate him.
And you're actually, now that I'm thinking about it, one of the, youngest Hall of Famers in history. One of the youngest. Obviously, you've been beat by a couple, but the fact is that, you got a lot of momentum. You got a lot of things going on now. Freddie's the one got it going on. To quote Jovi's vlog, we're going to certainly see, because Freddie's vlog is going on. It's got it going on. That's for sure, ladies and gentlemen.
Are we counting the Dark Father in the
and,
Hall
you know,
of Fame?
You can.
I guess so. I mean, yeah, then that
He's
would
the
be.
youngest then. He's 9 years old.
You know, it's
10,
funny.
10.
Last week, last week.
I would have to say he did. He did beat me technically, because he's technically bigger than me in the House of Wolves. So
It's so funny. Last week, Ace Christian was the youngest Hall of Fame. Now we beat him by like 4. Now we beat him by like 3 or 4 guys since then. So that just shows you that we're just getting started on Sportswire Radio. Let me say hello to a couple of people. One of my very good buddies, who I know we're going to be talking about a lot coming this Sunday, Mr. Michael Christian. Of course, Michael is, he was the stepson to one and only Mr. Festus Davis, who's going into the Hall of Fame. And Festus is one of my favorite people around. And I see somebody that I happen to know pretty well. I see him in the background. I think we know who that person would be.
Soldier, why are you with him? No, not me.
Hi.
I got to sit out here for only one reason and one reason only. I got in contact with somebody that he had just mentioned. So April 6th at the Rumble at the Rec, you'll be defending your RCW title against Sean Jovi.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Forget about
Hey, Jovi, I can't wait. But you're going to lose.
Forget about Cody and Seth versus The Rock and Roman. We're going to see, for the RCW World Underground Championship, Freddie Daniels and the resident rock star Sean Jovi in a dream match. Literally, this is a match. If you're a fan of WCE, IMF, or any other wrestling company that we talk about on Sportswire Radio, we are going to see Sean Jovi, the resident rock star, and Freddie Daniels for the RCW World Underground Championship, a championship that Sean Jovi was his baby. He made famous, and Freddie Daniels, you're going to be putting that championship on the line. Boy, this can certainly be a dream that is going to come true on April the 6th. Go ahead.
Did he say April the 6th?
He said April 6th, yeah.
Well, I'm going to say this then. I was going to make it a surprise, but April 6th, I guess it's going to be the day where dreams come true, because, last time IMF was on Sportswire, I heard a certain someone say they wanted to face me. A certain world champion in Ohio.
Oh, I think I know who that is. Ohio.
Man, please do.
I think we're talking about none other than Mr. Joe Stone, huh? Joe Stone and you in a match? Is that what we're talking about?
See, as I'm still healing, I want to get to the 100% to get my title back from Damien. So I see what a perfect opportunity I have to get, take the training wheels off to go against Damien. So Joe Stone, if you're watching this, which I know you are, hold on. Joe Stone, that title is mine. April 6th.
Wow. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? Joe Stone, who, of course, was a trivia question. And obviously, Freddie Daniels was a part of the first match we ever streamed live on Sportswire Radio. But we didn't want to mention that in the speech because you've got the RCW World Underground title. Exactly. And that triumphs you being a part of that first match in Sportswire history. But it's certainly, we're going to find out.
I got screwed.
And you know what? You had a very good shot at winning that match. But I'll tell you one thing, though. Joe Stone's days very well could be numbered because Omen Black returns to the ring. He's going to leave no stone unturned to take away that DKW World Championship. And something tells me here, if Craven Rage could get past Joe Stone, Omen Black could work out of Joe Stone. So something tells me here that Omen Black is going to be primed and poised. And I think that's a match a lot of people are extremely excited to see. And also, yep, guys.
Joe Stone's no light work. He did beat
Not at all.
Taken.
Absolutely. And he has proven.
Matt's beaten me once, maybe twice now. And he had a tag match with him and Soldier. Beat me twice. So Joe Stone, it will be a suitable opponent to get to that level I want to be at for Damian.
Yeah, I think that. Listen,
I want to personally Omen,
better than Craven Rage.
I want to personally ask you to beat a match for me.
Without a doubt. And by the way, Craven, I know you're watching. Facing Joe Stone will be better any day facing you.
Certainly, some people will continue to have their opinions of Craven Rage, who's once again the self-proclaimed ruler of the yard and backyard nightmare. Although, many people have different opinions about that, but we'll have to see.
The only person has different opinions is him.
Tom, he stole Jones's BBC.
He did. No, listen, there's no question that Craven Rage, a lot of people feel like that wasn't really much of a rage in the way that he unfairly took that interstate championship. But Craven Rage, for sure, will have to face all that scrutiny of the time. We're here making history with the first faction to be inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, the House of Wolves, and Omen Black, our first two-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer. I have a couple of quick comments here.
Before you do that,
sure.
Tom, I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
Sure, no problem.
When Craven was on, I hear that him and a certain someone is also challenged me at Summer Bash. Do you care to elaborate? He has his own talk show. I don't know who he is.
Are you talking about? You sure you want me to elaborate on this one? Because I think I know exactly who you're talking about now.
I just want to say this to that guy.
You sure you want me to bring his name up? You really want me to do it?
Say it.
C2K. You sure?
Hold on.
Oh,
C2K, you're not fucking ready.
So
I love that button. Boom.
So you really would want to accept that challenge? Because I mean, if I'm C2K, because if I'm C2K, I might want to think about making actually that match happen for real. We love C2K on Sportswire. I'm trying to think of the right words because C2K obviously love what he's doing. He's got a talk show. He's obviously certainly trying to, hopefully, maybe take over the reins of, being the best talk show host in the world. He's got Jackson Law that came on. He's had all these who's who of people on lately, but
he had Craven Rage and Jackson Law. That's it.
I was trying to hype him up. Certainly, it's not Dean Allmark. I know. Yes, I'm friends with Dean Allmark.
Okay, I'll give this. He had Jackson Law. Okay, that's good. But then you had Zach Attack, Craven Rage.
And
then you had to bring up my name. You can't even pronounce my name right. You say Omen Brack. The fuck is Omen Brack?
I'm gonna plead the fifth now because I think C2K is a nice guy and he's in our Hall of Fame. So if C2K really wants to wrestle you, I'm just gonna say C2K, we love you, but I don't know if you should want to have that match with Omen. Now, Loose Cannon, I would be all for you to wrestle Loose Cannon, but I don't know if you should have that match with Omen. I'm just saying you can do what you want, C2K. Obviously, the talk show has been great. You've obviously, doing the rapping, the acting, but
Garbage.
there's fantasy and reality. That's all. Obviously, you might want to think about it. It's your call. Just giving you some friendly advice as a friend and thanking you for all you've done for this sport. But, I'm just saying, you can do what you
I
want.
guarantee some weasel in this comment is gonna be like, C2K, get on Sportswire. Owen Black's talking shit about you. I don't care.
Probably.
Do it.
Truthfully, yeah, probably. I'm actually trying to give a friendly suggestion. I'm actually trying to help C2K because
But you're
I
a real
like
good guy, Tom. You're the real good guy.
I don't know about that, but I have a lot of people that would like to say some things to you. Let me get to that. Let me move away from it. It's not about me tonight. I also want to give you guys some things as well. Skull says congratulations. Now I can say Omen has something in common with Booker T, a two-time Hall of Famer. Right? No, was he Harlem Heat and then also Booker T? Right? Because he was
Also, we
Harlem
can both do the spinneroonie.
Well, I don't think Omen that Booker T can actually do the spinneroonie. I think Booker T's got to be near 60, so I don't think he can do the spinneroonie anymore.
Okay, we can both at least do the spinneroonie in the past. That's
Yes,
better.
yes, I think Booker T I don't think that he could do the spinneroonie. That's all.
In the video game, he can still do it.
Oh, for sure. Listen, I mean, James Taylor was posting that the first SmackDown came out 24 years ago the other day. So he's
See,
probably
my
playing it
first
right
was
now.
SmackDown 2. I
No,
played
I
the
actually
hell out of SmackDown 2.
I do remember SmackDown 1 coming out. My brothers we played it a little bit. That was maybe my second to last video game I really played for a long time. Although I came back into WWE games like after college, but it was No Mercy was my last one after SmackDown. But that's a different conversation for a different time. We've got some real things to discuss Sunday because Festus will be here. What a landslide of announcement. Freddie Daniels versus Dream Opponent. I don't know who you are, but I say hello. Don't know who you are, but thank you, Joshua, for tuning in. Craven may be a ruler of the yard, but does he even know how to do math? Well, I guess it would be Craven math rather than Steiner math. But you know what? Sean Jovi's got something to say, and he's got something going on to say. And this is what he wants to say. Craven sucks. He needed help from Make-A-Wish to steal my BBC. I don't know. That's kind of that certainly hit there. That certainly hit like a knife there. Just saying.
Talking about Ox. If he's talking about Ox McCoy and Craven Rage's little shitty deal, he's goddamn right. That's a Make-A-Wish right there.
Well, apparently, listen, Craven Rage finds a way to get this contract to cash in anytime he wants for a WCE title, and it was kind of this arrangement, this shotgun deal with Ox McCoy, and I asked him about would he, be out there with the Hellhounds, and he said no. He said that he was just, he was saying stay tuned. So I don't know. Craven Rage, enough about him. Let's come back to some more current events. Omen's first match back April 6th, so that means Foundation Dirty Monsters 2-on-3 against Saint and the Hellhounds. On March 16th. So that means next Friday it's a handicap match. We're going to be talking about that on Sportswire Radio. Interesting. And also, I got breaking news, by the way. A man that's going to be here March the 21st, live and in living color. His name is none other than Tommy the Man Merriman. He speaks live, Sportswire Radio, full hour, talks about everything, what his future is, what's to come. And he says anybody who wants to come on and talk to him, they're welcome to. So Tommy the Man Merriman makes his long-awaited official debut to Sportswire. As we saw him last month for a brief cameo, but we're going to see him live March 21st in the Flesh and Wound live. Looking forward to it.
Off the leash.
Well, in this case here, since Sportswire, obviously, we kind of promote these things, and that other company that might be down north that doesn't really want to acknowledge certain interviews from different people that come on the platform, pretty much there's nothing they can do about it, but, well, just like it. Or just pretty much, be kind of irrelevant, kind of the way they are anyway compared to some other feds. But
it's free promotion.
That's all. Listen, you know what? At the end of the day, I believe in the First Amendment. And Tommy the Man Merriman has a God-given right to speak live on Sportswire Radio. It is his First Amendment right to speak, and he wants to exercise his First Amendment. And as a believer in free speech and democracy, I'm giving him that opportunity, even though there might be some owners that may not believe in the First Amendment and may not believe in certainly a free speech and not want to certainly promote things that would only help their company and do things like that. But hey, I'm not going to get into any further semantics. We love that company. We want people to go follow them. But before I get to some more things, and by the way, big shout out to that company, big shout out to the owner, and big shout out to all the people in that locker room because we love that company down north. Evening, Tom. What's going on, my brothers? Congrats to the whole House of Wolves. Obviously, want to keep our thoughts and prayers continue in our buddy Darkron and Matthew Forsaken and their family. Obviously, very sad news about their grandmother, and obviously Joe Stone's great grandmother. So we want to keep our thoughts and prayers with Darkron. I'm going to see him next Friday. Looking forward to one half of the tag team champions here. But, gentlemen, I want to present to you something. Obviously, we've been talking a lot tonight and talking about different things. Freddie Daniels is here. He's got his dream match to come to fruition against Sean Jovi, Omen Black. You've got this new voice that's going to certainly scare C2K maybe away from a match against you. Maybe it'll be Silver Wolf instead. Maybe Loose Cannon, Silver Wolf, and maybe Tyler Rocket, a 3-on-1 handicap match. I don't know. But the facts are... But I want to present to you guys something that officially would commemorate everything that you have done pretty much with the House of Wolves. You guys kind of alluded to it anyway, but only if you guys would both insist. As you guys have been main eventers and stars that you are, could I present to you something that would officially commemorate that you guys and the House of Wolves are now Sportswire Radio Hall of Famers?
It'd be an honor.
Would you okay with it, Freddie, if I put this on the screen?
Tom. Like you said, it would be an honor.
Thank you very much, Freddie. Freddie, I'm always so good to have you here on the platform. But, ladies and gentlemen, you've got it here first. On this date, March the 4th, we want to officially congratulate the House of Wolves for being inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. This is our logo. This is my John Hancock, which changes every time I do this. Shows you I actually really make these things. And in fact, somebody actually outside of Sportswire Radio said, well, I've got fraudulent signatures. I've got fraudulent this. Well, you know what, buddy? That's actually my signature. That's actually my date and my title. So you can go shove it where the sun doesn't shine. But that's here nor there. Yeah, boom. I'm going to throw lefts and rights anytime I want on my platform to those individuals. But that's not about that. Guys, congratulations. This is your part in history and officially commemorates that you're in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And I want you guys to have it. And to everybody else in the rest of the group, thank you for all that you've done, for being a part of All Wrestling Matters. And there you have it.
Tom, it's an honor to have two of these now. One for me as a standalone next to Soldier GP, my brother, and now one with the House of Wolves. You know what? Maybe I'll even get a third one down the line with the foundation.
Well,
when the foundation earns it, which
clearly. You said you might get a third one. Is that correct?
I mean,
well,
Omen,
you might actually be kind or maybe interested enough that your wish might actually come true now, if you may be so kind in allowing me to present to you something as well.
Sure.
Well, there you have it, because you actually got your third award, because you, for being the first two-time inductee of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. So there you go.
Suck it, Parsley. Suck it.
Look at that, man. He gave you a participation award.
Hey.
You got the same thing, though. You got the same thing. What's the difference? You find me,
damn it.
Freddie, find me a Hall of Fame that actually goes out and actually presents you something, then puts you on their website with your information on there. I mean, that company in Stanford,
you're right.
They don't do that. Freddie, we recognize All Wrestling Matters here. We do that.
Freddie, all wrestling matters unless your name is Silver Wolf or Loose Cannon.
Or Josh Fletcher.
Well, that I can agree with.
Or Josh Fletcher. Yep. Or Josh Fletcher right now. Just saying. But, yep, that was a burn. Yep. I'm not taking that one back. Because, there's going to be 1,000 Hall of Famers in the Sportswire Hall of Fame. Yep. Shoot me.
Do you want my soundboard? You could do that next time.
No,
With the deep voice,
nope.
echo.
Nope, I wanted that to be heard. Actually, I wanted that heard. I just wanted to say that there's going to be 1,000 people in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. It's going to be all Wrestling Matters, and there'll be 10,000 people in the Hall of Fame because it's about recognizing all the people and all the platforms. Just saying. But we love XCW, but that's just kind of my 2 cents. But it is my Hall of Fame after all. But let's move on from that because I could spend all day on that, and I'm not going to do that. Nice title, Freddie. I heard you wanted me to take it back from you. Interesting. What do you want to say, Freddie?
Jovi, I'm a big fan of you, and all that. I'm not trying to get you to take the title back, but I mean, if you want to go into that match that way, I can happily whoop us.
So, Freddie, what are you going to do to keep this championship away from the resident rock star, Sean Jovi? He's in a foul mood right now, figuratively and literally, after what happened to him despite winning the King of the Center. He's mad because this dream run had a little bit of a slight detour because of what Craven Rage did in his Make-A-Wish certainly moment.
Well, I'm going to do whatever it takes, Tom. He may have gave me a shot at this title, but it's my job to keep it.
And how motivated are you right now, knowing that your dream has come true?
I'm the most motivated man in wrestling as it is for this match.
Is this the biggest match of your career coming up next month?
Ooh, even though it is against the resident rock star, I don't think that I would put it as my top match.
How is this going to be different for you to prepare than any other match?
Well, I'm going up against Sean Jovi. He's he's a big opponent, and 2, he's a somewhat of a close friend. So I got to prepare for everything. I got to prepare for him to, use the vlog against me, to use anything that he can against me.
So what will you do then in terms of how to combat his ability to use his bully pulpit? He's got the vlog. You're a vlogger. So don't you have to then kind of respond in kind?
Yeah. Who knows? There might be a vlog off there. There might be other things that happen. Who knows?
Okay, fair enough. I got another question though for you, Freddie. And from Mr. Darkron. What's your top match, Freddie?
My top match. My top match right now would probably have to be against Jason Myers, the one where I, called him out and, gave him the ass whooping he deserved.
And why was that match? Because of just the magnitude of it and what you did in the match? Is that why it's your top one?
I think that it's, my top one because that's one of the matches that proves who Freddie Daniels is, He keeps coming back until he gets his results.
Well, you've come a long way. I got to tell you what, from what we saw to where you are now, you're really one of the more up-and-coming talents. And, Freddie, I speak with a lot of people all over the place, as you know. I speak with people all over the world. And you have really been very impressive the last 3 or 4 months. And even what you did here on the first ever Sportswire radio match that we called, and you did a great job in that match. You're absolutely right. You could have definitely won that match. And certainly despite what Ace Diamond might have said and me not giving you the respect, well, Ace Diamond is my platform. I'm going to call any match the way I want. But obviously, you got to figure out whether Mephisto's foundation or not. But shout out to you, and thank you for coming on our platform. But the facts are is that, Freddie, you were right there, and you've shown that you can hold your own. And I definitely think that your top match might have been Jason Myers, but your top match is going to be your future and what's to come. And I also want to point out from Mr. Dark Kron that Rage Rob Jovi. A lot of people are upset about Craven Rage being back on top. A lot of people are really upset about that because people just, I don't know why that might be. I don't know why, but there is a lot of sentiment that feel from people that Craven Rage should not be back on top. But Craven Rage, again, he found a way. He found a loophole, and he found a way to get what he wanted, and it doesn't matter how he found a way to be back on top, but it could be another 2-3 year run for Craven Rage. Something tells me here that, you know what, Kodak Kid, you better be sleeping with one eye open, because Craven Rage is coming. He is coming. He is ready to be back in this sport. And, I mean, listen, he was here in rare form. I mean, Craven Rage is ready to be back, and I could see it now. Maybe him and Prince Charles again, a rerun of that. I could see him maybe again in a rerun with Adonis Felios. Maybe him and Silver will for the title. I mean, it's going to be a long run. Maybe Skulls and Craven run it back. Maybe C2K and Craven. Maybe they tag team. Maybe they have a one-off with each other. I mean, that's the kind of competition that Craven Rage is ready to go up against. Craven Rage is ready to go and have a repeat of what we saw back from 2022 to last year.
Maybe I had this all wrong. Earlier when I said Joe Stone would be the perfect match to get ready for Damian Saint, get the training wheels off after being injured. I think a perfect warm-up match for Joe Stone would be Craven Rage. Because I just can't allow someone to ruin my brother's thunder. He just defended his title throughout the whole tournament. Couldn't even get 5 seconds to celebrate winning the tournament itself. You and Ox McCoy had to stick your fat, ugly noses into it. And now look, you guys robbed Jovi, robbed him of his shine. Craven Rage, I really hate your fucking guts. So one of these days when you decide to man up, like how you manned up against Soldier GP, Sean Jovi, Levi McDaniels, and hell, anyone in the foundation you faced that wasn't me. The day you want to man up and step in the ring with me, you'll figure out why you're nothing but a pipsqueak little fucking weasel who doesn't belong in the ring with true talent like the foundation.
Ooh, and you know what? After all, Craven Rage couldn't beat a slew of other talents here. I mean, Craven Rage, many of those names couldn't beat. So that's certainly there. But obviously, it looks like we actually have somebody here that wants to make a surprise appearance. Now, somebody that's come on here. Would it be okay with you, gentlemen, that I bring this person on? You'll be very blown away on who it is. And it's not Anthony Steele. I promise you. It's not James Taylor. It's not James Taylor. It's not Skulls. It's not even C2K. This is actually somebody. It's going to change the dynamic of this show tonight. Really. It really will. I promise you.
Don't tell me it's Craven. Or is it Jordan Nets?
No,
Did Joe Biden or something? Like, come on.
Would you like me to
let him in? I'm interested.
All right, you sure? I'm
intrigued now.
Well, all right. So I've got a surprise that nobody saw this coming, and he is here live. King of the Center, the man that is in our Hall of Fame, and he was one of the most emotional ones we've ever inducted. And of course, the one and only, our rock star, your favorite rock star, the Foundation's rock star, none other than Sean Jovi, the resident rock star at our Hall of Fame, and the resident rock star. You've definitely got it going on. So, King of the Center, congratulations. And
thank you.
Because you're Sean Jovi, the resident rock star.
Freddie, heard you've been talking some mad smack.
Yes.
He has, huh? I was informed of it, so I figured I'd come here and accept your challenge.
I wasn't talking no smack. I sat there and all I did was say that I would be honored to have a match against you, and then I get told that you want to shot at my title.
I don't know. Freddie, have you just been sucking up this entire time to get your shine on the vlog? And a shot at the RCW title? Because you are calling out one angry resident rock star right now.
That's true.
I'm just warning you, man. I like you. You're a good
Listen,
kid.
Jovi.
But are you sure you want to go down that King's Road?
Jovi, listen, I know that you're a mad rock star right now. You're the resident rock star, Sean Jovi. But, you know, if I have to sit there and I have to bring this title up like you guys want me to and all that, well, then I do think that I also do have to beat the best to become the best as well. So,
And I respect that. I respect the fact you hold that title as dear as I once held it. But make no mistake, we said we're doing this at the Rumble, right? Like I said, I just kind of got it. Okay. So at the Rumble, brother, little pal, little buddy of mine, you're going down. You're going to be an example of what I'm going to do to Craven, the first show of WC, when I dethrone his royal ass and stop him from invading the yard once and for all. We all have had enough of Craven's title reigns. Right?
But has Craven had enough, though? Because Craven
never has enough. Craven never has enough.
Come on,
satisfy till his
it
ego's
doesn't matter if Craven's had enough.
His ego is
We
bigger
know
than his
we
head.
know he's had enough.
Hell, I have a big head and his ego is bigger than my head.
But he seems like he's learned from what happened. And he's ready to basically resume what we saw from him from 2022 until late last year. He's ready to go. I mean, he's basically talking as if like nothing ever happened and he's back on top.
Nothing ever happened.
That's what he's talking. The way
that's how delusional. That's how delusional
For
the
my
character of
record,
Craven Rage is.
Very
for my
delusional.
record, he came on Sportswire and he said, without Craven Rage, there'd be no Nicholas Crenson,
There'd be no WCE,
Marshall,
basically.
no Darkfire, and no Sean Jovi.
First off, Sean Jovi was before Craven Rage's time.
Which
Same
I
with
knew.
Darkfire.
You want to say that was bullshit? Yeah.
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 Freaking
Shut up.
stupid cannolis. But no, it's frustrating that this guy thinks he runs the yard. And like, I've talked to anybody. Like, I was completely robbed of my Interstate Open.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, I spoke about it
Highway
on the air.
robbery.
Listen, to be fair, I mentioned it, and it really was your moment that was taken away from you. And Craven Rage, if it was a match where it was basically you weren't, after everything you went through against Mephisto and Ox McCoy, there was a true match that was basically you were at 100% full strength. He was at full strength. There was no way that you were not going to walk away from the Palo Community Center without that Interstate Championship. It has been the greatest run of your career, and, he basically reigned on it. And I think that that's obviously, I had asked him, it was, from a guy like Craven Rage, who had been this champion for as long as he was, didn't seem like he was somebody who had honor as a champion. That's what many people feel. And I asked him those questions, and he just felt that, he's got a plan, and that's what he wants to do. And that's obviously, he's entitled to do what he wants the way he wants to go about it. But at the end of the day, his championship run is certainly going to be on borrowed time if it's going to be true one-on-one competition. Because at the end of the day, people will still continue to look at it, objectively speaking. Who did Craven Rage really beat when he was back on top? And who will Craven Rage really beat in order for him to stay on top? Because of all the champions,
it ain't going to last long.
And all the champions we've ever seen, all the different feds on Sportswire, there has been no champion who's probably beaten the least amount of top talent than Craven Rage.
That sounds about right, Tom.
I mean, that's
sounds about right.
Besides Sean Jovi,
James Marshall. He beat James Marshall. All right, Nicholas Crenson. He beat Darkfire, but at a different time that Darkfire was in, not the Darkfire of today, but the rest of the competition. That's what some would say. Some would say that competition's not up to par in the IMF, not up to par in certainly other feds, and that's what people think of Craven Rage and him being the self-proclaimed backyard nightmare and the ruler of the yard, because time and time again, when guys like Omen Black, the new Sean Jovi, even the new Freddie Daniels right now, or even Jordan Nets, and certainly other guys that have come on the platform, Craven Rage has kind of been, well, not so much of a rage. He's kind of used the machine maybe to kind of continue to stay on top and use the dirty tactics that some might say what a machine would usually do. But that's just what some people say. Obviously, it'll be up to Craven Rage that'll wind up to figure out what the future of him is and his WC Interstate Championship that he maybe unfairly won.
I need to see that shirt again, bud.
It's for the WC season, but honestly, I'm not feeling it when I ordered it. Because I ordered it.
Want one.
but I ordered it before King of the Center.
Ah,
See, that's the thing. Like,
I want one of those shirts.
you
I
do
want one.
You want one? The back is even better, Omen. The back says you're undisputed king of rock and resident rock star, Sean Jovi on it. It's available now on jovismerch.com.
well, I'll tell you what, WC does not have a rock star like Sean Jovi like that. There's certainly, for sure, we look at the older WC roster without the resident rock star Sean Jovi. I'm not quite sure if we would say maybe it would be, let's say, a Prince Charles Breaking News that would wind up comparing and competing with a
You see
Sean
this?
Jovi.
You see the part?
Breaking news. Hey, does he still do the breaking news? It's breaking news with Prince Charles. Breaking news.
I actually have no idea, but I will say one thing as far as everything goes. Craven says if it wasn't for him, there'd be none of us, right?
Yep, that's what he said last Wednesday on the show. Yep, he was here basically saying that he was the one that built WC, and you were the one that, despite your fame and everything you've done with your massive following on YouTube and the story that people have believed upon you in, that it was Craven Rage that was the guy that made it all run in WC. That's what he said.
For the first year and a half, completely. But it's my show now. I took over that show last year and became a star. Not thanks to him, but thanks to people like James Marshall and the Foundation.
And listen, I'm going to say it objectively. I'm going to be very nice about this. Not like when I talk about other promoters. The facts is that WCE has always been only interesting when it's been the likes of the Foundation, the likes of Sean Jovi, Nicholas Crenson, certainly Darkfire now, James Marshall's in-ring ability. That's what has built WCE. What has built WCE in terms of its character, its flair, and being about all wrestling matters is really this last year when we saw a Foundation, which, by the way, maybe somebody that might know a thing or two about WC had messaged yours truly about talking about the IMF and talking about the Foundation. So if we're going to call a spade, and there's nobody that does it more than yours truly, I'm pretty confident in saying that, WCE has transformed into being an interesting Fed, not a Fed that might be on par with the likes of maybe some, secondary or B-level Feds out there, not naming names, not dropping names of people. But it's really because of the likes of the new run that Sean Jovi's had, the best in his career. Seeing a little flavor of the likes of Omen Black, Soldier GP. How about Darkron? Give it up for Darkron and Matthew Forsaken. Some other guys like Dirty and the IMF. Freddie Daniels being here. How about give it a big shout out to Freddie Daniels and Jordan Nets. These guys have added something to WCE, which has made the flavor and taste of WCE to be very palatable, and certainly a taste that can be up to par with some other companies, and maybe not so much of those moments with, let's say, a Rage that was continuing to rage, kind of like old stale bread or a $2 steak.
And Tom, I agree, but let's face facts here. When this whole thing happened, I actually considered leaving. Honestly,
I don't blame you.
I mean, I did, but I thought about it more, and we worked out a deal with management. But the thing is, if I left WCE, who would really be left? Darkfire and I are a package deal. If I leave, he leaves.
So why go? Why stay then? If you know that you're the one that's been the face of WC. You're the one that's been the face. I mean, if we're really going to be honest for a second, you can say nothing. You can do whatever you want on this. If it comes down to politics, why be in a place that you may feel not comfortable in?
I'm a guy who gives a lot of second chances as a human being.
Me too.
Maybe
Me too.
I know, Tom. You're a great guy, and the thing is, I feel like all this could have been prevented in a way or another between management and the whole 9 yards. So, I want to give it a second chance because I do believe in WCE, and I want it to bloom and blossom and succeed.
Me too.
But I just had a moment of uncertainty, and I'm giving it another shot. So I'll be at the first show, hopefully beating Craven for my title back. if my genie in the lamp trick works.
Oh,
Well, you know-
Gene Lamp.
Well, you know what? I will say this, and I'll say it in a positive note before we move on to a few thoughts. Obviously, we're here celebrating the birthday of Omen Black and also celebrating Freddie Daniels. Both of these guys are part of the House of Wolves, of course, our first faction inducted into the Hall of Fame. And alongside us, of course, is our favorite rock star, of course, our 2023 Superstar of the Year, none other than Mr. Sean Jovi. And, of course, he is in our Hall of Fame. He was our last member of our third class, and my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. I'll say this much. I am looking forward to WC returning for one reason, so we can induct Tim Mecca into the Hall of Fame. So that's something I do want to say as a positive. Tim Mecca and what he meant to the Wisconsin backyard wrestling scene, what he meant to you, what he meant to James, Nicholas, Darkfire, certainly to his brother. I think that's one reason why WCE I'm looking forward to. But in all seriousness, I hope that WCE will have a great season, and I hope
Me too.
that whatever you want will be fruition, and everybody will have a great season. Just like I wish IMF a great season, just like I wish XW a great season, DKW a great season, ROEW, DBW, VTW, TBW, all of them a great season. You know, that's what I wish for.
Yeah, and I want nothing
All
but the best
wrestling
for everyone.
matters.
All wrestling does matter.
That's it. You know what? And we have always on Sportswire, all wrestling that matters. Tomorrow, I'm here with a guy, real quick, really interesting. His name's Dan Stovko. He was a college baseball player, very successful college baseball player in the state of Pennsylvania, and he just became a pro wrestler. He's wrestling for Amplified Wrestling, wrestled his first pro match a couple months ago, and he went from being a guy that was going to be a baseball player. He was going to have a career, and he was going to be a pro baseball player, but decided that he's going to be a professional wrestler. And he's got a really interesting background, really interesting story. And we're going to have him live 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Great guy, great company, Amplified Wrestling, run by a guy, Van Hansen. Van Hansen, of course, had a show, Fight for a Cure, which I supported strongly for a young girl fighting Ewing sarcoma, also Enterprise Wrestling, and they put me in their Hall of Fame. So I want to thank Enterprise and Amplified Wrestling for their support. Yep, I want to thank them also. Want to thank them for helping this young girl who's fighting just a terrible disease. And I'm really looking forward to Dan Stovko, Sugar Dan Stovko, baseball player turned pro wrestler. But Dark Crime wants to say to both of you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Craven run away from Joe Stone in the first one? Yes, he did at King of the Center. And I would love to be locked in a cage with that chump.
I would love to see that too. But Dark Cryptic Wrestling management. See, I don't know if you guys were watching earlier, but I accepted your World Champions Challenge that he like to dish out on Sportswire. So April 6th, Joe Stone, polish that title real nice. When on April 6th comes, you're looking at your new DKW World Heavyweight Champion. If you're not down with it, then you are stupid. Yeah.
You know, before we move on to closing thoughts and obviously certainly put a bow on this historic night, I think I heard that person, but they shall name anonymous over here on Sportswire Radio. Freddie, I wanted to ask you a quick question before I move on to the guys and get a few thoughts. For you, Freddie, is there any goals you have in 2024, my friend? I know you're a Hall of Famer. Any goals you got?
Well, obviously cashing in the briefcase and winning a title. But other than that, you know, just doing my best and making it to the top, no matter what it takes.
Any means necessary. I like it. Hopefully you don't do exactly the Craven Rage tactics, but I have a feeling you're going to be fighting like tooth and nail to keep that RCW World Underground Championship. We'll have to see. And also, I want
to loose cannon. You'll be all right.
Well, speaking of Loose Cannon, his wife is celebrating a birthday. Happy birthday to Loose Cannon's wife. I actually want to give his wife a happy birthday.
She's the same birthday as me.
Yep. He posted on Facebook that it's his wife's birthday, and I wanted to wish his wife a happy birthday.
I'm changing my birthday now.
Hey, your other Facebook said it was yesterday.
Yeah, you know.
I don't know that other. I only know Omen Black. I don't know anybody else but Omen Black. So as far as I may know, the only name I'm looking at right now is Omen Black. I don't know anybody else. So I mean, I'm looking at it like
you're not
seeing that is Omen Black.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
He's my Omen Black.
I only know Omen Black, and today was his, or yesterday, in New York yesterday was his birthday. But the fact is that and his wife, and maybe Loose Cannon's wife will give some advice to Loose Cannon that he might want to stick to general managing and might want to stick to maybe matches with Silverwolf. That's all. That's all. But speaking of people that want to congratulate you on being in the second-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame wing, a man that's joining you 5 weeks from now, Mr. Justin Parsley, the first real wrestler and the first wrestler of XCW to be in the Hall of Fame. By the way, my favorite wrestler in XCW by a long shot, easily my favorite. Well, Rob Slater's a close second. I love Rob Slater. Certainly, Justin's my first.
That right now. You got one win. Last time I checked, we beat you 2. And a singles career. Let's compare both of our single careers. What have you been, Justin? Oh, that's right. Not a goddamn thing. Me, first ever United States champion on IMF, 2-time world champion, first ever hardcore champion. Do I need to continue?
Well, I mean, Justin Parsley did beat Fletch, but everybody beats Fletch. I mean, come on, everybody. Listen, everybody beats Fletch in the ratings. Everybody beats Fletch in the subs. I mean, Trinity beat Fletch, and she kicked Fletch's ass. I mean, so if we're really going there, I mean, that's a big win. Certainly a big win beating Fletch, but everybody beats Fletch. I mean, figuratively and literally. I mean, listen, Fletch right now is kind of like Vince McMahon was in 1996. Everybody's beating him.
And let's just be honest. Without Slater, would you guys be tag team champions? No. You wouldn't. So you better be thanking Slater for all the wins you have and all the defenses you have as being XCW tag team champions. Because at the end of the day, real one, Parsley, you be nothing but a footnote in the doors of XCW.
But I'll say this though about Justin Parsley, he is technically in XCW history now the second part of the second longest reigning tag team champions in the company's history, almost 6 months. So he's
again,
proven that.
Thanks to Slater.
Okay. Well, we're going to find out. I would have to think we'll find out more from it. And certainly, if you want to watch the Foundation versus the real ones, you can go to the XCW's Encounters channel for their shoot, XCW Wrestling 1 on YouTube. You can check that out. And
I just want to say this. Hey, Parsley, you're welcome for all the views you got on Encounters. Our first match, still the most views. Just want to say that.
Do you guys get royalty checks for that?
You might as well, because we made them relevant for a main event. When's the last time they were in a main event without the Foundation?
I would say, though, to be fair, Parsley and Slater wrestled Brady Branson and Tommy Merriman. They're impressive. Can't take that away from them. DJ Walbert's been very impressive.
Right,
he's got a big following. Julian Void Jacobs was a former world champion. They've had some big opponents. You can't knock them all.
You know what? You just got to worry about what's coming your way, Parsley. I don't want to spoil too much, but you just got to worry about what's coming. And better yet, who's coming.
Ooh. Certainly. So you're saying that this won't be the outcome where Parsley beat Fletch, because like everybody beats Fletch.
I mean, no comment, but
fair enough. I'll handle that one here. Most recent match deserves more. Yes, definitely deserves more views, and people should check it out on the XCW YouTube channel, XC Wrestling 1. Definitely XCW. We love XCW. We're only joking around. XCW is one of our favorite companies, just like IMF, just like WC, and everything else. But okay, obviously we've had an historical night. And speaking of historical moments here, I want to give a big shout out to Adonis Felios. Obviously, he's a part of the Wolfpack Hour with the big.
He's the only one I like on the Wolfpack Hour.
He is the Drip King. I mean, and he's been a huge part of many Jovi's vlogs in the past. I mean, Jovi and Adonis have been a part of many vlogs, and we see a lot of people coming in right now. It's certainly Adonis Felios is the Drip King himself. He's always got those gold chains, rocking those sunglasses with those headphones. I mean, certainly Adonis Felios knows how to rock it in style. Certainly, he's much more in style than, let's say, Tyler Ark, the man-o-machinist.
Without Adonis, the Drip King, Timu would be out of business.
Well, I mean, we'll have to find out because, Tyler Ark is coming up in the ratings. I mean, Tyler Ark.
He was the rising star of WCE.
Now, I would love to know who voted on that.
Well, like
You really want to know?
40% of the viewers.
Do you
That
really, no,
wasn't
do you
many?
really want to know?
No, I don't. Move on. Tyler,
No,
Ark,
I'll say it. It's funny. It's funny.
It
I
was you
voted.
all along.
I voted Tyler Ark multiple times. You know why? Because I wanted to hear how stupid that acceptance speech was going to be.
Well, Crenton's got to help him with those promos because obviously he's been a huge part of Vector, and Crenton has been giving him tutelage. Well, by the way, Justin Parsley's throwing some more lefts and rights. DKW, have you seen these reels? I never give my opponents anything less than the best, except that first foundation encounter, but lesson learned. That was a good one. Justin Parsley's one of my favorites, by the way. So I hope that it works for a great match with all you guys because I do happen to say I'm a Justin Parsley fan. I'm a Justin Parsley fan. I can't help it.
I'm sorry.
I'm a fan of all wrestling, though. All wrestling matters.
Yeah, all wrestling matters. Unless
Yeah.
you're canon.
Well, his wife, though, happy birthday to his wife. I mean, listen, Loose Cannon. Maybe we'll
And if
see
you're
Loose Cannon.
Silverwolf.
Well, listen, Silverwolf's, by the way, breaking news. Silverwolf's coming back to Sportswire within the next month. He's coming back.
Oh, I'll be sick that day.
Silverwolf is coming back. And you know what? He might even make an appearance during Anthony Steele's Hall of Fame show. Apparently, Silverwolf might come on, might want to
Oh,
certainly
my God.
say hello to Anthony Steele. And Anthony Steele, by the way, I just want to give a quick plug before we get to closing thoughts. Anthony Steele is promising a historic night when he's inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. Anthony Steele, the real deal, is promising that this is going to be like a Hall of Fame show you've never seen before. And nobody knows how to party. Nobody knows how to talk the talk and walk the walk like Anthony Steele. So that tells you if you're not...
Sean Jovi parties all the time. He's the resident rock star, baby.
Party like a rock star.
That's true. And you know what? Anthony Steele would even say that. Anthony Steele, by the way, I'm just saying, Anthony Steele is, I cannot wait till Anthony Steele gets his place in the Hall. And by the way, speaking of people I want to give a big shout out to, by the way, a owner named Josh that I love right now, by the way, huge fan of this guy. His name is Joshua Allen. I'm wearing his shirt for Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. Now, this is an owner that gets it. This is an owner that understands how to promote his brand. This is an owner that certainly understands visibility. This is an owner that understands the power of social media and understands that a Hall of Fame should have many people into it and a Hall of Fame that should be honored by anybody in this sport. And of course, I'm talking about my favorite Josh, your favorite Josh, Josh Allen, via the great state of Tennessee. Love Tennessee, by the way. Certainly in TBW, they certainly recognize that they want to be a part of All Wrestling Matters and not maybe take pot shots like maybe another owner did when, he was with an interview of interviewing somebody that no longer works in his company. I'm just saying, though. But Joshua Allen, my favorite Josh.
Hey, Josh, if you want your Atomic Titan problem figured out and solved, I'll be gladly to take care of it for you.
Oh, my God. Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I think that what it tells you is that stay tuned. And Hollywood Titan, by the way, he's going to be here next Thursday night. He's joining the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame officially. You guys are all welcome. Yep. He's coming here and he wants to have respect. He wants to be acknowledged as the hardcore king. And speaking of other people that also is in our Hall of Fame and wants to say hello to all of you guys, it would not be a show without the legendary Nemesis James Taylor, and of course the legendary Nemesis is here. And I hope James Taylor interviews Freddie Daniels soon, because what an interview that would be. Freddie Daniels, you certainly, you want to be on Jovi's vlog and Freddie's vlog. You got to go on the Nemesis sessions with James Taylor, because that would be an interview like none other. And I'll tell you, with your RCW World Underground Championship, that would be a dream interview. I am certainly praying and hoping that James Taylor interviews Freddie Daniels, the RCW World Underground Champion and the IMF briefcase winner. So hopefully we make that happen. And also, I hope that James Taylor and Anthony Steele 3 takes part in TBW, because we support all wrestling. And DKW, I have seen enough to know we are one of the best tag teams out there, but that's why we want to challenge. But are you ready for us? Our singles matches show how nuts we are. Can you hang? And big shout out to Sting. Yes, Sting, I got a chance to watch some of that today. Shout out to Sting. I was hoping to join Sting yesterday and retire on top as host of Sportswire Radio, owner of the platform, but apparently I have been told I have another ironclad contract for at least 35 more years, so you'll be stuck with me until 2059. So there you go.
Goddamn right. I made you sign that by force.
But we have some news here. James Taylor wants to say that match between himself and Steele is not going to happen. Sean Jovi, want to thank you as always. I'll see you next Friday. Thank
Summer
you for all you
Bash.
do, my friend, and I can't
Yep.
wait for all wrestling matches with you next Friday. And of course, thank you for being our rock star and our Hall of Fame rock star on Sportswire Radio. Thank you so much, my friend.
Always.
Jovi's Vlog has got it going on. Episode 173. Check it out now on Sean Jovi's YouTube channel. See ya.
Thank you. Later, bye.
All right.
Have you ever
Our-
seen him do the swerve dance?
Stay tuned on episode 173, maybe. But
you
also here, Mr. Taylor wants to say that in TBW, this match is not happening. But I'm going to certainly say I don't know anything about that, but I hope it happens, period. Atomic Titan, who's back next Thursday, we are going to be respecting him. And he says, just respect me already. And I love, by the way, that jacket he's got. And I hope he keeps it. And I love the haircut, by the way. I am a fan of Atomic Titan. Now, a Hollywood
I hate
Titan.
it
Yeah.
so much.
I'm a big fan of his. I am a fan. And I love TBW, by the way. Amen to TBW.
I love a TBW, but
Yes. TBW is a good company. Sting forever. Thank you. Yes, Sting. You know, I got a chance to watch some of that, and that was emotional. Absolutely. And I still have my Wolfpack Sting card from WCW's NWO Top Set. Maybe it's worth like $1,000, but I don't need the money. But Omen Black is my number one fan. Well, I thought Freddie Daniels.
Never.
Well, I thought Omen Black, your biggest fan was Freddie Daniels, but hey, that's here nor there. But
No.
fair enough. Obviously, we've ran through the gauntlet. Let's get to some closing thoughts and show one more time on the screen our first ever faction inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, our House of Wolves. And I want to go to closing thoughts here for Freddie Daniels. I want to also recognize Jordan Netz, our former IMF world champion. And thank you, Jordan Netz, for all you've done in this great sport. We hope to see you here on Sportswire once again. And we certainly know you had scheduling conflicts, and we know that you were obviously promoting this appearance out on different podcasts around the world. We know that also you were certainly talking to many people on social media about the importance of the House of Wolves. So I want to thank you, Jordan Netz, for all you've done for this great sport. Thank you for promoting this interview, and thank you for everything you've done on XCW TV. You've conquered there, which is really, again, not a big deal, but you've certainly proven once again why outside groups have shown time and time again why they're winning the ratings war, why they're winning the views. But thank you, Jordan, for all you've done in this great sport. But Freddie Daniels, I want to give you the floor, give you some closing thoughts, and thank you for all you've done in this great support. Thank you for being a part of All Wrestling Matters. I turn it over to you, and the floor is yours, my friend.
Well, thank you, Tom. Once again, I want to thank you for having me on here and inducting me into your Hall of Fame as one of the House of Wolves members. And Omen, like I said, I have major respect for you, and I hope that your arm heals fast, and I hope you get back in the ring and enjoy doing what you love again.
Making people
Awesome.
bleed.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Fair enough there. Thank you so much. And I also want to say to that the only fan you have is tight. Is that the Grim Reaper Joe Anderson power bombed you through that box? Okay. We'll have to certainly see. I'm sure when Titan comes onto the platform next Thursday that we'll have more talk about that. But Omen Black, we have certainly saved you for last because it is also, before I get to a comment, but I want to give your closing thoughts out there. I want to give you anything else you'd like to plug, share, or say. And I turn it over to you, and certainly want to thank you for allowing us to celebrate your birthday on your show and allowing us to make you our first ever two-time Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer. But I turn it over to you, and I want to give you the floor. And anything else you'd like to say, fire away.
You know, it's truly an honor, Tom, and I really appreciate what you've done for my career and all the careers you've helped on Sportswire, TBW, DKW, WCIMF, all those guys. I'm truly appreciative what you've done for the backyard community and backyard wrestlers like myself for humble beginnings. Now, again, I would like to thank everyone for watching and allowing tonight to happen for the House of Wolves and Sportswire and for myself. But I don't want to make it about me, but Jordan Netz, Freddie Daniels, and Urich, without you guys being the foundation of the House of Wolves, it would not have made it to the place where it did. And I truly thank you guys and everyone that supported it and didn't support it. And I'll see you guys again on Sportswire and the next time I'm in the Hall of Fame.
There will be a third time. Spoiler alert, there might be a fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. I mean, it's my Hall of Fame after all, so I can pretty much put anybody and induct them in 100 times if I want. But before we sign off, apparently we have word that Joe Stone's going to see you April the 6th, and also says it would be a dream.
See, what I'd say, Tom, April 6th about dreams coming true. Freddie Daniels got his dream match against Sean Jovi, and I'm making a dream come true for a lucky guy in Ohio. DKW World title match between myself, Omen Black, and the champion, Joe Stone. But now I'll let the champion decide what stipulations he wants. As you know, it's my show, but you know what? It's his title. So, Joe Stone, once you figure out what you want to do to lose your title to, let the IMF management know. And April 6th, I'll be gladly to take that belt from you.
Well, you know what? We'll see. Omen Black makes his return to the ring, and he could very well be holding championship gold once again and getting himself ready to return, I am sure, for another match to run it back with none other than Damian Saint. But you have heard a lot tonight on Sportswire Radio, and we've seen history, of course, with the House of Wolves becoming our first group inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And also, one more time, happy birthday to Omen Black, and thank you, Omen, for all you've done here on this platform. Thank you to you, Freddie Daniels. Thank you to all the House of Wolves members, and also Adonis Felio says you're not going to cry, not going to cry. I mean,
I'm not going to cry, damn it.
That was funny. Yeah, Adonis is good. I always liked Adonis. Adonis is definitely one of my favorites, and he can always come back on the platform. We'll
You're
certainly
crying, not me.
Well, you know what? We're not crying because we certainly celebrated history tonight. And gentlemen, I want to thank you guys for all you've done here in this great sport. I want to thank you guys for everything that you're doing out there, being a part of All Wrestling Matters. I'll probably see you guys next Friday or even sooner. And definitely, if you're out there, please follow the IMF on all of their great platforms. It's on Facebook, YouTube. You can also check them on Instagram. Omen Black is on TikTok. Check him there. Freddie Daniels is a part of the IMF. Make sure you support them because it's about All Wrestling Matters. The IMF has a great show coming up next weekend, and I'll be promoting it next Friday, as I mentioned. I've also donated to a ticket, so if anybody would like to go, and if anybody also wants to go, anyone else out there would like to go, I will donate to you the opportunity to go if you don't have the money to do it. That's what it's all about here. All Wrestling Matters and making dreams come true. That's right. Gentlemen, congratulations. Thank you for all you've done. I can't wait to see you guys next week or maybe sooner. And until then, I can't wait to induct you guys the next time. And happy birthday to you, Omen and Champ. Keep up the good work. We'll see if your dream comes true and you successfully defeat Sean Job on April 6th. And we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you, Tom.
You got it, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to induct our first group formally into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, and that is the House of Wolves. It was Freddie Daniels and also Omen Black that were here, and Omen became our first two-time Hall of Fame inductee into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice of all wrestling, where all wrestling matters. If you're on sportswireradio.org, you're going back to your regularly scheduled programming. If you're on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, I'll be back here 6:30 with Sugar Dan Sofko. And then also to join you, Omen Black, into the Hall of Fame, the man that is the forever EBW World Champion from the group Ego at 9:30 p.m., Mr. AJ Austin James is live on Sportswire Radio to take his place into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame and be our final member of our fifth class. So the forever EBW champion will be here. He'll talk Ego, his future, and more. And I'm sure people will tune into that. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling